Beautiful people. This is so weird. Camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing well. There's nothing really to talk about. There's nothing really exciting other than we're still in equinox passageway. Tomorrow's equinox. We had the Virgo full moon. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. So I wanted to show up and just kind of see how everyone's doing, see what's going on, see what's new. We're gonna pull some cards, I think, pull some oracle cards, just to kind of get a little feeling. If you're coming into the live, welcome in, welcome all. Hope everyone's doing well. Hey, Karina. Hi. Hey there. Hi. Hi. Hope everyone's doing well. It's Friday. Which means that it's a celebration, which means the weekend's here. What are we doing for the weekend, guys? What's going on? I know tomorrow's going to be a celebration. Tomorrow's going to be equinox celebration. I'm super excited. Stepping into spring. I've been talking about it a lot. Haha, made it. Yes, we made it. Oh, you made it, Amber. You made it. Yes, you did make it. So welcome in. I think we're just going to pull cards. You know, it's interesting because, like, the reason why I called this Suit Up and Show Up is because, like, there's those days where it's just, like, super connected, right? Where it's like, I've got everything coming in. I know what's happening. And there's some days where I wouldn't say it's disconnected. It's just, we're just not on the pulse, right? We're not on the galactic telephone. We're not on the angelic horn. We're just kind of, we're here and we just still show up. So this is more just like a support, fun hangout thing than it is anything formal. No talk about astrology, nothing like that. Just kicking back with the family, saying what's up, seeing how everyone's doing. And if you guys want to, if you want a card pull and you don't mind your business being aired out live on YouTube in front of 2,000 people plus, just let me know. But if you guys want a card pull, we'll pull some cards. Camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two. Air it, please. That's right. All right, Amber, I'll pull a card for you. The car is gone, by the way. Thank you, Mom. Thank you. All righty. So first off, before we go into any individual readings, let's just pull some cards for the collective, see what wants to come forward. What's the date today? March 18th. March 18th. We're going to work with Sacred, or the Spirit Oracle cards. Is it Sacred Spirit? Yeah. Sacred Spirit Oracle cards. 318. What's going on for the collective? March 18th. What messages want to come forward for? Oh, God. Ooh, channel your knowledge. Critical judgment. I think right now, because of the passageways, we're going to have more interdimensional experiences and more connections to our guides, right? And so during this time, guys, like when we have these influxes and the gates are open and we have the masters showing up and we have the availability because the veils are so thin to have our guides closer to us, now is the time more than ever to keep those connections alive and thriving and seeing what you can bring forward, right? But it's also about trusting your knowing, okay? Trust it. Some of you are thinking about doing this. Some of you are like, oh, should I create a channel? Should I be talking about these things? Like, am I worth it? You know, Guys, right now, yes, you are. Hey, how's it going? So, you know, just know, to channel your knowledge is right now, you're being asked to come forward and to step forward and to share what you know. To just share what you know. And you know, here's the thing, right? When it comes to channeling your knowledge, how do you channel it? Because that's the question too. When you're channeling your knowledge, it's like, this could be an artistic expression. It could be an actual doing a channeling. It could be in whatever creation it is. Either way, we're being asked right now, what is it that you want to open up to flow to and flow through you? Because you are a conduit of information. You are a conduit of source light. So rather than stating that you are a channel, right, you are a conduit of the divine. So we are like an instrument, not being played by the divine, but we're playing within the orchestration of the divine pathway and the divine plan. So as a result of that, right, is like, What is it that you want to bring forward, and how can you bring it forward right now? How can you take the access point of this energetic range through equinox, and what can you use it to support yourself and to support one another, right? And then also light grounding the information, really important too, is to really take this wisdom, take these downloads, and to bring it forward however you want it to, whether it's through vocal communication, whether it's through writing, whether it's through dance. Either way, it's really about you stepping into your divine flow and your divine knowing, and trusting your divine knowing as well, trusting the insight and the information that comes through as it chooses to flood through for you. Okay, feel like painting for some reason? Well, it's funny, I actually have someone painting right next to me. Really funny, really funny. So yeah, and that's been a thing. The artistic expression, the creative expression, has been really like, it's been very key and very on point lately, even with myself. Has been wanting to channel information in a new way, right? Like, because we're calling forward freshness and newness and renewal, and it's like, how can we bring forward, how can we like step up to the plate and show up in a different way, and share in a different form, right? Whether it's like music, whether it's creative writing, whether it's dancing, right? I'm trying to see if there's any other ways of creating grids, right? Getting crystals out and making grids. The symphony from the spheres, indeed, brother, indeed. By the way, I love your music. I love your music. Juice, I saw your channel and your guitar playing is amazing. What's up, Angel? How you doing? So yeah, it's like right now is like we have an inner knowing, but we also have access points to a lot higher cosmic divine knowing right now. That's what these influxes kind of bring in for us. And so it's really about, as you're sitting with those streams and you're getting the downloads, what are you doing with them? Like, are you just sitting on the information, or are you using it in a way to uplift and inspire yourself and one another? Like, how can you channel this into a form of creation, right? How can you channel it into a form of creation? But also too, that's Virgo full moon. Like, Virgo is all like that practical plan, the business, the grounded opportunity. But Virgo, also representing the goddess, is also like, it is that feminine goddess light energy coming through too. So yes, one day around the campfire we will jam for sure. So, but that's a lot of that is like a lot of that the energy right now has been about the movement forward and the acceleration point of at least over here. I don't know about anyone else. Today's been more about resting and kind of like integration and allowing and like opening up to the flow. But it really is about the practical plan of what we are doing here and now. I know for myself included, there has been this feeling of completion and of success. Like, there has been some sort of mastery that has been obtained in regards to whatever it is that has been the highlighted focus of awareness of lessons and growth and expansion in our own journey. So the key thing here then is really about, first off, celebrating, right? Celebrating that we've reached this level of mastery, celebrating that we've reached this level of completion, and celebrating our own journey, whatever it is. I know for myself, I felt it like, oh, we wrapped up a huge cycle. You know, we were discussing it yesterday. You know, by the way, thank you for all the kind compliments and everything yesterday. Yesterday was just beautiful and amazing. But it very much so is like that energy of celebration. And now it's like, what's next? What is the newness, right? What is this renewal, and how do we bring it forward? I talk about the newness so much, guys. And for some of us, there's some people that are actually stepping out and are stepping into that new, and I'm seeing it, the rebirth, the reborn. And for a lot of us, it's like we have this creative energy, we have this creative channel, we have these openings. Now, what do we do with it? How do we let it flow through in a new creation, but something that also inspires us, something that makes us feel good and feel right? And I know for me, this has been a lot of the review is like, what can I do not only in my own day to day, but what can I do within my own creation, in this business that provides something I get excited about as well, that I want to share, that I look forward to sharing. Of what the completion of that mastery is like, okay, we've unlocked a new level of aha moments in our own life, right? Expansion, upgrades. We've gone through the trials and tribulations, we've gone through the purification, the trial by fire, right? We've gone through our judgment days, and now that we're in the clarity and we're in that alignment of freedom and that opening, that alignment and that opening, it's how can we, she's distracting me, how can we how can we bring it forward in a way that brings a level of freshness to ourselves? And that's spring. Spring, you know, at least up here in the northern hemisphere, right? And I don't want to bypass what's going on in the lower hemisphere, right? Because fall is different. But I know this passageway of spring always brings the blossoming and the renewal and the newness. So then when we are coming forward with our information and insight, how can we bring it forward in a new way? How can we show up in that new way? And not in a way where we want to keep quote unquote propagating the new, but in a way that feels good for us. It's bringing freshness to the palette, right? It's bringing in the new design, the new path. This is a part of the creation of that space for that too. We welcome in spring change and we bring in equinox because we've provided a lot of emptying or clearing over the past couple of months, right? So let's look at wintertime and everything we went through the hibernation, through going within the coldness, going into the shadow, going into the darkness, and really providing the nutrients for that soil and the fertile growth. And we're starting to feel the blossoming of that, right? And this might come through in a way where it's inspired action, wanting to go create something new. For some people, it might just be an emotion. I know for me, the emotions have been like, it has been teary and weary, but in a way of happiness, in a way of like, holy shit, we've made it. In this profound expression of wisdom within the form that like our emotionality is coming online in a new expression, right? Like, you know, the gratitude tears, you know, the grateful tears, those ones where you hit those moments where you're like, I'm so happy I can cry, right? Like, and that level of happiness has been at least occurring over here. Now I recognize that like there's a lot of stuff that's going on, you know, collectively. There's still anger and suffering, right? So like I by no means want to bypass what anyone is going through, but there is at least here, you know, hopping into the gates, stepping into the alignments, really stepping into the pathways that are arriving for us. I can feel the freshness. And I can feel the excitement as well, right? But there's still work. There's still work to be put in. Like, we're by no means done. It's just more excited for what's opening up for us, right? And especially since we are in flux and in transitional energies, we might not really know fully exactly what it is that we want to channel and bring forward, or what it is that we want to do in our next newness, or how we want to revise our plan, right? So it might not also be that what you are doing is wrong, or you want to do it in a new, or you want to do something completely new, but you can also step outside of your comfort zone and try something in a different way, right? And a lot of it is like, it's like trying on an outfit at a store, right? You go to the store, you try on the outfit, you don't like it, cool, you get another one, right? It's like, it's this refinement process and this retuning that we're kind of all going through as we evolve. Is how do we show up in this new way? How do we share our light in a new way? And what do we do that we enjoy? Because the joy of our creation can be felt, right? The joy of our own creation, can be felt. Have you ever been around someone who's been extremely joyful, and it's just it's reverberated through your spirit and has ignited joy within you? Think about if we all inserted our joy into our creations and in our day-to-day, whether it's your 9-to-5 job, or it's your family, or it's your own reality, or it's a garden, or it's or it's music, right? Or friendship. Think about what that does. But then it's also that we don't just start with joy and then expect joy 24/7. We also have to maintain that joy, right? So then the balance point of our own expression is, okay, what do we do to maintain and sustain our joy? What do we need to stay within those realms and in that expression? And if you dive into fear, or you go into shadow work, or you dive into unconsciousness, or you dive into healing, it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong, right? Because we're still flowing with emotional energy. We're emotional feeling beings in a body. But then it's also too is like, what is it that you need in your day-to-day to maintain and sustain your joy? And if you can't get into your joy, right, like, how do you just kick back and let it go and let it be exactly what it is that I could do within my routine, right, to bring more joyful expression into my life? Or even put it this way, to enjoy exactly right where I'm at, even if I'm in the mucky muck, or if I'm in the suck, or if I know that things could be getting better, is like, how can I enjoy right where I'm at, right? And a lot of that is just acceptance. A lot of that is just acceptance, just like accepting, okay, this is where I'm at right now. And it will shift. Energies are constantly, like, we're in fluid momentum. So it's just, things are constantly going to be moving and changing and shifting for us. And that's okay. It's okay. Right? It's an okay place to be. Oh gosh. It's an okay place to be. Secret temptation, being led astray. Note the distractions, guys. Note the distractions for whoever this is, right? Here's the thing is, when you start to say yes to something that you want in your life, the universe will send you distractions. It will send you those tests to go, hey, are you going to go over here? Are you going to go over here? Are you going to give in to the temptations? Okay, so let's say that you want to clean up your health routine. Let's say that you want to clean up your body. All of a sudden, the universe is like throwing soda at you. It's throwing the chips. It's throwing all that stuff, right? Let's say that you want to clean up your act. You're like, you know what? I want to quit alcohol. And then all of a sudden, all your homies call you, right? Let's go to a party. Let's go to the bar, or you see what I mean? Right? Is like right now too, is being mindful that when you say yes to you, when you say yes to that new, when you say yes to that opportunity, right? That sometimes, depending upon every individual, this is when the tests come, because chapters are closing, right? So as chapters are closing, are we going to play into those things, right? Being led astray is it's just about being mindful of these things. For some of you might be dealing with some alignment stuff too. Some of you might be feeling the pull of other people. Are people getting in the way of your happiness? We were talking about joy. Are there people that are blocking out your happiness right now? Are there people that really don't want you to be happy? Are there snakes in the garden? Right? And this is about being mindful, right? As we're building our own garden, as we're building our Eden, as we're building our heaven on earth, right? Is like, we have to do that maintenance work. We got to check, are there weeds in the garden? Right? Yes, the choice points, Twitty, very much so. Choice points. Are there snakes in the garden? Is there things is there clutter you need to remove from your life? Is there deceit? Is there deception? Is there manipulation? Is there control? Right? And it's really being mindful of those things, really being mindful of these things. So especially with this is to recognize, right, is the pull, the sway, the hooks, the tendrils that pull on us. We have to know our own internal conditioning to know where we can be emotionally manipulated or emotionally manipulative as well, right? So it really is, the deeper that you know, especially at the revelation wave, right, is that if you guys are feeling this card or you're questioning this at all, right, you're like, A, always use your discernment, but B is you can call this forward right now. Your universe right now, you can call it forward. Let's bring in clarity and truth. Am I being led astray on my path? What do I need to let go of? What can I highlight within my own reality that I need to let go of that is still, toxic, or it's still manipulative, or it's still pulling me? Because the thing is that as we're saying no more to what we could say is the old, or we're saying no more to the third dimensional systems, or we're saying no more to an old way of being, right? As we're transitioning into that new cycle, as we're still unplugging, right, we could still feel the pull of that old, right? That's pulling on us. So it's just about being mindful of these things. A lot of this has to tie with quantum biology too, right? So with quantum biology is knowing that you have, an alchemical makeup, a chemical makeup within your body, right? That is based on your biorhythms or biofeedback. It has to do with the chemicals in your body. And as a result, there is an energetic effect of it, right? So let's think of migration. I've talked about this before with birds, right? The sun changes and all of a sudden the mirror neurons flip and then the birds take a new flight and take it to a new migratory pattern, right? Is also knowing that there is a quantum biological effect on why these things are pulling on you or why there's still temptation. But the empowerment piece is knowing our temptations, right? And then when we see them pop up, making the decision, do I say no to that and neglect that and don't allow that to pull on me, or do I say yes to it? Each one of them bringing in a different experience for ourselves. So it really is about being mindful that, some of us right now have distractions in our environment that are blocking us from our true potential, or blocking us from that pathway, or blocking us from that creation, right? But also too is that these can also be temporary redirects for us to learn at a deeper level who and what we are and what we need to let go of within transition, right? So we don't want to I don't see this necessarily as a bad thing. Sometimes it can be. In the here, the moment it can, right? But it's always, I found, when we get to the end goal, right? When we get to the end of the lesson and the end of the season, we see why it was there, right? Sometimes blocks show up, right, to give us an opportunity for distraction so the universe can work in our favor, right? So these things doesn't always mean that, someone's trying to, X, Y, or Z. It could be from a higher knowing that your universe right now is creating a distraction to gift you the opportunity to be able to receive what you need to receive, because it's on its way. It's on its way. And so these little things help you to clean up those loose ends. These are those little day-to-day, moment-to-moment things that we need to let go of, right? But it's also, it's an opportunity not only to cleanse and to purify and to detoxify our life at a greater and greater level, but it also gives the opportunity time. so we can be able to receive what we need to receive, right? What orders have you been putting out? What intentions did you set in summertime? What intentions did you set before this year that you are ready to receive now, right? So we have to look at our transitionary cycles, and that which we seeded, 9 months ago to a year ago, where we could start seeing the flourishing of the opportunities of those things, right? So as a result, are you going to keep saying yes to you? Are you going to keep saying yes to your soul line path? Are you going to keep saying yes to your soul line journey? And are you going to allow these things to lead you down a pathway? Some of these things too, guys, could be news and media. It doesn't mean that there's someone necessarily in your environment that's doing this. These distractions, right? These things of being led astray could be that you have an addiction to drama, right? And so as a result, the news. Some of you, it might be social media. Some of you might be getting caught up in other people's business, right? Here's a really good one that I've been having to dive into for the last, probably 9 months. And it's been such a key theme. Not my monkey, not my circus. Not my monkey, not my circus. Are you getting caught up in other people's circuses? Are you inserting your energy in other people's situations? Because that can be leading you astray as well. Is that you're getting caught up in other people's drama that's not yours. And as a result, it is blocking you from your true knowing. It's kind of, I almost want to say it's clogging your bandwidth. It's clogging your channel. Right. And so as a result, we have to look at where are we still inserting ourselves in energies that we don't need to belong to, and where are we going in and trying to fix and problem solve situations that we don't need to. Where am I still inserting, or where are any of us inserting ourselves in other people's karma or other people's lessons and other people's journeys? And as a result, we're getting further and further away from our own knowing. Right. So sometimes we have to just step off and step out of those situations and really come back to what our clarity is. So if you're feeling this, it might be a time to really pull back your energy, to call back your power, to pull back your energy, and to go within and review. This is one of those things, like, once again, we're in Equinox Gateway, right? This is a time, if you're feeling this card, go outside. Tune, harmonize to the crystalline core of Mother Earth. Tune into the crystalline core of Gaia. And then sit there and ask those questions. What do I need to let go of? Universe, show me. Who's leading me astray? What distractions do I need to let go of? And then allow yourself to shift out of it and open up to receive what the blessing of this new shift is, right? So it is, these things can happen. They are normal. They are normal. Emotional challenges resolve the issue. Meditation improves our, see. So here's the thing. This very much so feels tied into the last card, guys. Emotional challenges and meditate on it. Is that for some reason these things are playing on your emotions, right? These things are playing on your emotions, right? So we have to look at emotional manipulation, right? We have to look at where our clarity is, right? We have to look at how people can still, whatever is going on with this distraction where you're being led astray, it is playing on your emotions. It's playing on emotions. And if you want to see this shift, it's going to be really important for you to meditate to find that clarity. It's going to be really important for you to meditate and to find that clarity, right? So, resolve the issue. There's something coming up for you to dissolve and resolve. There's something that you need to dissolve and resolve from within, but you got to meditate on it. Get out into nature. Get out into nature. Ask Gaia to support you. Ask your universe to support you within this, because it's being highlighted for a reason. Being highlighted for a reason. And it's really easy for us to be able to, okay, let's look at this. You want to keep someone stuck, put them into fear. That's a form of emotional manipulation. Right. So then we have to step beyond that and start, always use your discernment, right? Because your fear is also a communication point of your soul to let you know that something's going on. Our emotions are all communication links to to our knowing, to our true knowing. But we have to know when we're identifying with the belief that is being projected upon us to keep us in a pattern of subjugation or in a pattern of manipulation, or when it's actually a true, raw, authentic emotion that is expressing something to us. We always have to gift ourselves the tools of discernment here. Okay. But yeah, it's just like these emotional challenges, whatever issue this is, it's not just going to solve itself on its own. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work with the meditation. You got to do that. You got to go within and figure out what this is, and then allow yourself to feel it fully. Especially when it comes to narcissistic tendencies. I'm hearing that a lot, especially when it comes to narcissistic tendencies, right? Look at the push-pull-tear guys. So look within your own connections and your relationships if this is resonating, where you're still pushing and where you're allowing yourself to be pulled. Where you're allowing yourself to be pulled. Because the thing is that you can feel this in your chakras too. You can feel this in your energy body. If you really tune into the awareness of your own energetic systems, you can feel it. Have you ever been in the process of doing something and then you feel like a thought form and you feel a pull into something and you don't know why? Like a thought form has engaged with your field and it's pulling you in a direction. That's what we have to be mindful of. So when are you setting the intention to get something done? Okay, so let's say I want to go to the kitchen and I want to go make dinner, right? And you're in the process of doing that, and then all of a sudden that thought form comes in and it's like, oh, I should call this person, right? Or like, I need to go check up on this individual. That's something to be mindful of. When you're setting your clear declaration, your clear intention to get something done, and then you see the insertion of a thought form that knocks you off track, that is going to be a key sign to show you what belief system is being pulled on, and also too, who this might be. Who this might be. Because the thing is I've noticed this too, especially if you're a caregiver or you're in service at some level, right? Is like you step into self-care, right? Here's another one too. You know what? Today's a day of self-love, right? I declare today's self-love. I'm not doing anything, right? And then right when you say that, bam, your phone gets blown up by everybody and everyone needs help and everyone's in crisis, right? That's going to be a key indicator of things that will lead you astray. Because you dive into your knowing knows from within what it is that you want to create here and now and what you need to do today. But then all of a sudden other things start getting in the way. Okay, so this is going to be something that can be very, this happens to all of us, right? And this is where we start to tune into our knowing of figuring this stuff out. Another key indicator, guys, right? When you go to meditate on this issue, all of a sudden people start contacting you. That's going to be another key. I have a feeling that with some of you, whoever this is, that if you were to put your phone on airplane mode, right, and actually went in and started to meditate, you might actually start to get contacted by the people that are doing this. And I don't want to say they're doing it to you because you're not a victim, but your universe is going to let you know. It's going to key it in. So I feel like when you go into this meditation, whatever the distraction is will show up naturally. Honestly. And I feel like, you know, here's the thing. If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's most likely a duck. We want to give people the room for movement. We want to give people the room to, you know, we always want to provide forgiveness and kindness. But I feel like if you go within and start to meditate on this, you're going to very quickly see exactly what it is. It might be a flash of insight. It might be just a thought form that shows up, right? But these are key indicators that are what are things that are keeping you off course. So let's look at the push, pull, tear, right? Pull, the pulling too, right? Let's say that you want to show up and you want to create in your business, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, why don't I go check Facebook, or why don't I go check Instagram, or like, why don't I go turn on the news, or why don't I go do this? What's the thing that you want to do? And then let's look at what are the things that are getting in the way from you being able to do what you want to do. Those are things that are leading you astray as well. And it doesn't mean that they're designed in some nasty, evil way to pull you in a certain direction. It's just limitations and things that are still pulling on you, that are blocking you from your vision and from your knowing. So either way, it really is a time for whoever this is to reflect on this, to go in to meditate on it, because these individuals at some level have some form of say over your life. Now here's the question point, sovereign ones, you sovereign, free, beautiful beings of light. Why the heck do these people have the power to push or to pull you into a direction that you don't want to go into? You sovereign, powerful God, goddess, light being, why are you allowing anyone to have the ability to manipulate you, to pull you, or to have some say in your pathway? Co-creation. Okay, understandable, right? So relationships, partnerships, family, right? We there's different dynamics there based upon what your choice point is in the relationship, in the partnership, or within the family connection, and what you hold as far as honor. But let's look at integrity, guys. Where are you still lacking integrity in your own life? Where are you still lacking integrity? And then the question is, what is my integrity? Well, meditate, reflect on it. Start asking those questions. What is my integrity? What is my knowing? Right? Because even myself, it's like, I've been noticing this come up, actually. Soul integrity. It came up last night. I'm trying to reflect to see if integrity came up last night. And it did. There was just a really quick engagement. I'm not going to go into details. And as a result, there was a choice point. Do I honor my soul's integrity, or do I just say yes to this? And I was like, I'm going to choose integrity here. And it was really quickly, the clarity came. There was a solution, and I was able to shift it. And I just knew in that moment, right? Because I'm aware of what equinox, so guys, equinox, solstice, tests. I'm going to be very blunt with you. Equinox, solstice, here's a key. If there's ever going to be a gateway of a seasonal transition, yo ass is getting tested. Excuse my language. But you're getting tested. You're going to get tested, right? It's a part of an initiation. Okay. So just note that we are being tested, right? So then it's like we could just quickly say yes, or we could take a moment back and pause and go, okay, let me reflect on this before I say yes. And if it's something that you're not sure about, say, hey, I'll answer that in the morning. You do not have to answer that right away. And if someone is putting the pressure on you, guys, if someone is putting the pressure on you to answer right then and there, disconnect. Okay. People should be honoring the fact that you want to sit back and you want to process the information and think about it before you make a decision. You're allowed to do that. You have a right to do that, right? It's a part of honoring. Okay. So just remember that. Honor. Ugh. What are we doing over here? What's happening over here? Oh, someone blocked the camera. Okay. How's everyone doing? 20 people in the house. Welcome in. I'm kind of just doing oracular flow right now with oracle cards. Voice your concerns. Guys, advocate to spirit what your needs are right now. Teams are listening. Guys, teams are listening. What do you need? Right? The other thing too, guys, is creating a dialogue with the stars. Creating a dialogue with your universe, with your families of light, with your spirit guides, with your guardians, right? Create that dialogue. Ask those questions, ask for that support, especially when we were talking about with the awareness, right? The awareness of this being led astray and that critical judgment, right? Is connect with the ancestors, connect with your star family, connect with your soul group, right? And ask those questions, create that dialogue with your universe. Ask for assistance, right? I've done divine intervention on myself many a times, okay? Here's something I want to let you guys know about. Okay, I don't know if anyone else is aware of this. If you ever feel super stuck energetically, spiritually, like you're in a bind, right? Tune into your oversoul, okay? And ask for divine intervention. Call it in. I've done this so many times. I call it the big red button. Someone knows about the big red button. It's basically it's like, imagine the big red button, right? That's it. Game over. It's the game over button. You have a game over button. If you ever get too stuck, right, you can tune into your oversoul and ask for divine intervention, right? And they have to honor it, because sometimes we do things, right, in our day-to-day that knocks us off our course, that knocks us off our path. We make a choice, right? We do something energetically. We effect, and has a ripple, right? I've had many times where I've gotten in those situations. I'm like, yo, I can't, right? And so then I just tune into my oversoul, I connect to my oversoul, and I call in divine intervention. It was interesting. There was one time where I called in divine intervention, and right when I called it in, I think it was like 45 minutes later, Lori Ladd posted a video, right? And she's like, and it was interesting. She's like, there's a message coming in, because you know how her and Phil do. They've just got their telepathic lenses on, and they're just constantly bringing forward stuff. Was that Lori had brought up something about divine intervention. And that was my key to me that this stuff is real, right? So when we tune into our oversoul consciousness, when we tune into the oversoul or the monad, right, and we call that forward, that the message is received, and you never know who's on the other end of the line that's responding to that message as well, okay? So I just want to state that is like, I've had these moments occur many times where I ask for divine intervention, right? And it's essentially, it's divine surrender. because it will happen, especially as we're diving into creator consciousness and being full-blown creator beings in a body. Is even myself, I recognize, yo, like the training wheels are off and sometimes my creations get a little weird. Okay, well, universe, let's correct this. And bam, it always realigns. It always does. And if it's not meant to realign, so if you're calling in that divine intervention and nothing happens, it's because nothing needs to be intervened upon, because you're exactly right where you're supposed to be. You're right exactly where you're supposed to be. You're engaging with everything exactly as you are. Like even myself, the past, 7 months of my journey, 8 months of my journey, the entire time I knew I was not on my pathway. I knew I was not in alignment. I had my few key moments where I was like, I'm not in alignment. I had my key moments where I felt that I was. And it's because there was this really loud voice in my internal condition that was saying you're not in alignment, but there was this little tiny voice of hope within me that said you're exactly right where you need to be. Right. And then things shifted and there was this completion that hit. And now I can tell this entire time I was in alignment. I just felt so out of alignment because I was facing a lot of discord that I needed to move through. And my universe planted me in whatever situation I needed to be in to get through what I needed to get through. And I knew the entire time, like, kind of what was going on and that I needed to be there. And it sucked. It sucked. If you've ever dealt with Corey out of alignment, love you. If you've ever dealt with Corey out of alignment, you know. Corey not in alignment is not a happy kid because I can feel it. But it's like I needed to be there. Sometimes our universe takes us out of alignment because it puts us in a situation where our skill sets are needed, right? Or like someone needs our light, or a situation needs our revelation. Our situation needs exactly what it is, or we need to retrieve the information or whatever it is from that situation, right? So just note, guys, just note. Voice your concerns right now. Create that dialogue with the cosmos. You're going to be supported. You're going to receive the information. You're going to receive download, right? You might even connect to a star group or a being that you didn't know you had access to, right? You might connect to a master that you didn't know that you had access to. Either way, right now, create that dialogue, right? And also know that you are being universally supported, right? Even when you feel like you're astray, your guardian angels are with you. Your guides are with you. They're watching over. Now, they can't intervene on your behalf in certain situations, right? Because of freedom, free will, autonomy, and sovereignty, right? But like, they are watching you. And I feel like that's the other thing too, is like, when you feel like you're the most separated and alone, your guides are still there. It's just that we've got different journeys and different lessons that we go through. I've had many moments where I'm sitting there and I'm like, where the F are you guys, right? Where are you? And when they do show up, it's in really weird times, right? Like, I think I was talking about this last night when, like, it's like my universe shows up at the weird times, the weirdest times. And it's usually when your pants are down, right? Like, you're like, oh, cool. I've been trying to communicate this whole time. And I go to the restroom or I'm in the shower and now you show up, right? And it's really funny how our guides show up, right? But they're around us, guys. They're around us. They're with us. They're with us. Yeah, detours are sightseeing tours, right? Just see it as a sightseeing tour. But create that dialogue with the cosmos. The cosmos are with you. Right? They're with you. They're with you. They're with you, and they want to connect with you. They want to connect with you to provide you some sort of information. It's also, guys, really important to advocate for your needs, wants, and wishes, right? There's many times where there's situations and solutions that Corey cannot handle, right? So, like, let's say that you're going through some human trivial stuff, right? Or you're going through a relationship thing, or there's some community drama, like, let's be real here. When it comes to light worker communities, we're really good at playing into the high school drama at some level. Not all of us. A lot of us now we're aware of it enough that we step out of it. We just grab our popcorn and do our thing. But like, as we're building communities, right, is the comes up. The drama and the trauma comes up. And it's sad, but it's shifting now. Shifting. Arigato usoru. So if you cannot find a solution, surrender it over to your universe. I've had to do this too. Just like we were talking about oversoul intervention, the divine intervention, do the same thing with your connections and your partnerships, right? If there's some sort of drama or something going on, higher selves, deal with it. I give this one to you. You guys are going to handle it. Allow it to redirect, right? You can also say, that which is not pure shall crumble. That which is not for my highest good, allow it to leave now. And you can do that. I do that quite often, actually. There's a lot of dialogue I have with my universe where I say, hey, anyone that's not supporting me or supporting my journey or supporting my creation or whatever, get them out. And they will. They'll always get taken out if they're not supposed to be there for the highest good. But if they are there still and you still haven't retrieved the lesson or the wisdom or the insight that you needed, they aren't going to go away, right? And we can start to see these themes and these patterns reoccurring in our life until we get it. It's about being able to get it, guys. So it's not that you are going to be tortured or that you're being taken advantage of. It's about, are you getting the lesson? Because your universe loves you so much that they want you to expand. They want you to evolve. Okay. And they want you to find peace in whatever situation you're going through. They want you to get this done. The universe doesn't want you to keep repeating lessons and cycles unless the universe knows that that's what you need. Okay? Unless your universe knows that that's what you need. Spiritual cul-de-sac, the poop loops. Ground your light, let your soul shine, right? So here for some of you guys, you really need to get out into nature right now, and you really got to ground your energy and come back into the body. Some of you are very scattered right now, okay? Some of you energetically are all over the place because you've been sending your signals everywhere, especially if you don't like your reality, okay? So if you don't like your reality, I've done this a lot too. If you don't like your reality, you might be sending those tentacles and the energy into other places because you don't want to be where you're at. But if you want to shift your reality and move into that new direction, we don't need half of you clear across the world. We need all of you here, okay? Especially when it comes to creator energy and creative energy. We need all of your light here. Because the most impact you make, okay, the most impact you make is 100% of your light on, not 50% here or 50% there. Yeah, tend to your roots. Me too. I have to do this a lot more now, is ground my energy. Right? Because I love taking flight. I love being like, whoa, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm learning how to love being in the body more. Guys, we need all of you here to get done what we need to get done. We need you fully anchored as the soul. The other thing too is some of you guys have really strong connections right now to the gates. And the universe wants you to code dump into Gaia. So I want to say some of you are gatekeepers, and you might be learning that you're a gatekeeper, and your ass needs to get in the dirt because Gaia needs those codes that you're anchoring, right? Because you are a pillar of creation. So if you see yourself as a mastery pillar, right? You see yourself as that crystalline pillar of creation, you are connected to the cosmos, is you might need to go do a code dump, right? Some of you might be holding on some really powerful codes, and you need to go anchor those into the trees or into the land, and you need to go give those back to Gaia, right? It's important, right? With when you're a gatekeeper or grid keeper, right? Like, so when we're keeping the gates open and we're anchoring the codes, we bring them into the form. But some of you need to be dropping these into planet Earth, right? Some of you need to be dropping these into planet Earth. For some of you, it's going to be really important for you to discover your own internal galaxy, going out into nature. Like, this is where you're going to find your spark. This is where you find your light. I know for me, this is where I find my balance. When I get out into nature and I meditate, and some days, like, you know, because the forest is like right here. Like, I can walk to the tree line within 5 minutes. Is that some days it's just getting outside my rig and just plopping my butt onto the dirt and just breathing and harmonizing with multidimensional Earth. And it's been a really important thing for me. I will say this, guys, the transitional shift, like the biggest shift that I've had recently, came from me actually just meditating with Gaia and grounding regularly. Why is that? Because the more of my light that I anchored into my body, the more I could actually have a cellular release, right? Because I had emotions that I was running from, and anytime I brought all of me into the suit, the emotion came up and I jumped out of the suit. That's what the soul fractures, right? The traumas. Yeah, analysis paralysis, exactly. The more of your light that you anchor within to your body, the more you anchor your soul within, the more you're going to be able to feel what you need to feel to let go of. Back to the emotional issues that were bringing that pull and that manipulation stuff, right? Feeling beings in a body. Start bringing your light in more. You're going to help to transition and shift out a lot of the physical body's density and to be able to feel what you need to feel because you need to shift out of it, right? Especially in regards to persecution. Some of you aren't good with anger. So now as a result, it's really surrendering to anger. Because you keep blaming other people and you keep hurting other people. You keep fighting other people. Oh, it's their fault. They did this. It's the system. It's the government. It's the sheep. It's whatever you state. And that can be such a rude thing to say to people, right? Have you ever not known something, and someone's come up to you and beat you up for you not knowing? It feels crappy. Why would we do that? Why would we do that? We're here to care. We're not here to persecute. So we have to look at where we're still blaming. Some of you don't like feeling anger, and as a result, you still have a little sharp edge when it comes to certain topics and certain variables in your life, and you keep blaming other people and not taking ownership over these things. Some of you don't like anger, and so as a result, there's still anger that needs to process. You need to transmute that fully by feeling into it. But anger is not a primary emotion. Fear is. So as a result, right? As a result, is that there is something that you're angry about, but it really ties into a really deep fear, and it's something bloodline and ancestral for you. That's why it's so hard to overcome it, right? Because when it comes to really clearing out and stripping away all the two-strand DNA and all the epigenetic stuff, it can take time. So some of you have given up on this because you've been working with it. You're like, I've got this anger. I've been working through. I've been doing this stuff. What the heck? It's a really deep ancestral patterning. And as a result, it keeps showing up because it is a big one, right? Body holds 7 generations, guys, right? So you might have cleared 3 or 4 generations. You still got 3 to go. It's okay. We're rooting you on, We just keep showing up and doing what we can, right? But some of the reasons why this won't all resolve is because it's a big one. We have our key indicators and key themes and key lessons in this lifetime that we all go through, myself included. I have mine, right? And so as a result of that, right, we have those kind of key themes that are like the energetic highlight of our life, of what we're here to accomplish and to master. So for some of you, it might feel like a big undertaking, but you can little by little work with this and keep dissolving the anger, right? And then maybe start finding ways to shift anger in a new way. One where you don't embody it and then load it as an energetic weapon to send to someone else. Because this is what will happen. And yes, it's hard to clear out what you can't imagine. Stop trying to imagine it, though. Feel into it. Sometimes we're trying to figure out things, and we're not supposed to. We're just supposed to feel them. Right? It's not always that we need to find the pattern and dissect it. Sometimes we just need to surrender and feel. And that's all we need to do, is surrender and feel. Okay. And guys, I apologize. Sometimes when I step into my oracle mode and I just flow, I'm just flowing with energies and I bring forward information. I know sometimes it can be triggering, so I apologize. It's by no means personal. Okay. It was actually a discussion I had last night with the other one here. Is that sometimes I step into my channel and I just start sharing, and I know that sometimes it can trigger. Okay, so I want to let you know I love you and it's not personal. Okay, just want to state that. But yeah, for some of you, this is a bloodline thing. It's really the persecutions. You've been blamed for things in the past. You've been blamed for things in the past, and it hurts. It hurts to be blamed for shit. It hurts to be on the chopping block. It hurts to be placed in those situations where you're condemned or you're shamed for who you are. Okay. So as a result, there's something that's occurred to you in, I want to say other lifetimes, not just this lifetime, other lifetimes. Okay. That you're still playing out right now, and the karmic entanglement is really getting to you. But the more that you shed the layers of this distortion, the less that they have to attach to. Right? So this is why we dissolve and resolve from within. This is why we clear. Tom, you know. Tom knows. We have those energetic themes that are the biggest themes in our life. That's a big one, especially for here. Okay. What time is it? Cool. So it really is about anchoring awareness into your own body's consciousness to know that the more you hold the light within your body, the more you're going to shift this out. Because, guys, a lot of the propensity of the old, right? So let's see this. Here's the thing I want to say. 3D is usually polar opposite of 5D. If we're going to put this into a framework or a measurement to kind of give people a little bit of a knowing, let's say old Earth and new Earth are on opposite ends of the spectrum, right? So in old Earth, or in the 3D, or the older realities, the older timelines, right? One's pre-air epoch, one's pre-shift, one's pre-2012. The propensity might have been to jump out of the body and to fly away. Now us being in the polar opposite, okay, us being in the polar opposite, we need to anchor more deeper into the body, right? For some of you, you're used to going up to receive your information, and now you need to go within. So things might feel a little bass-ackwards. Why? Because you're in a new reality. You're harmonizing with a reality. You're harmonizing with a vibrational currency. You're harmonizing with a way of being that is opposite of what you're used to. So it does feel bass-ackwards, right? It does, but it's because you got to try something new. As within, so without. As above, so below. See, I'm learning to stay with my feelings. I'm also learning how to not, like for myself, it's interesting. I'm actually learning how to move through my feelings and to shift my feelings, because that was something I never had power over before. And it doesn't mean that I should quote unquote control my feelings, but I needed to gain mastery and power over my emotionality. And it doesn't mean that the rest of my life is, oh my gosh, I'm feeling sad, now I need to move into joy. No, not at all. There's something about emotional mastery and emotional empowerment that I'm going through, right? So for some of you, you need to go deeper within, because you have a whole universe within there that you need to discover right now. I don't want to say you need to discover, but there's a universe within you that's awaiting your arrival. But you got to get everything in the body and in the suit. And Gaia helps with this. Gaia helps to lighten the load. She's an important energetic resource for us in rebuilding our foundations and stabilizing that. Oh, gosh. Shield your energy. Look beneath the surface. What were we just talking about? Look beneath the surface. Look beneath the surface. You got to go deeper within. Not everything might be as it seems or it is perceived by you, because you're not looking what's going on. You're not reading the energy behind what's going on. You're reading the physicality. So a part of these, opposite and backwards realities, okay, is that you're seeing surface value. You're not going deeper within. For some of you, you might be questioning the surface, but you know deep within the feeling. That's another one, right? Either way, guys, we're in energetic realities. We're energetic beings in a body. It's time for you to start reading the energy. And it doesn't mean that you can close your eyes and see all the energy. It's about tapping into your knowing. It's going to be important for you to tap into your knowing and to look beneath the surface. Here's the thing too, guys. Revelation. Bam. Revelation. When truth arrives, sit with it. When you hear something, sit with it. Don't just believe it. Don't just believe it because someone says it. Sit with it. Digest it. And it doesn't mean you don't want to quote unquote not trust people, because it's about tuning into your discernment. Is this really for me? Is this really something that I need to say yes to? Is that really my truth? Go within. Ask that question. For someone who's been recently disagreeing with a lot of old truths, I'll say this is really important. You do not want to take on a belief system that later you have to shift out and go, oh God, I've been sitting with that one for a few years and that one didn't help me at all. Anyone else gone through this? You took on a belief system that at the time you're like, yeah. And 6 months go by and you're like, oh God, no. I think that's just our lives, right? Is we probably signed up, yeah, dude, Earth School, woo, all right, belief systems, cool, fun. And then you get here and you're like, no, what did I do? Right? I've gone through this too, guys. I've heard things and it sounds really good, right? And then you try it and you're like, oh God, it's poison. It's poison in my body. Right? And this is that level of freedom of trusting our knowing, that we are the way shower, that we are the guide, that we are the guru, right? Okay. Yeah. Awakened spirit, desire to change. Some of you are desiring a change in your life right now. You're desiring a shift, and it's because you're awakening. So if you're feeling that you want to change right now, just note it's a sign of awakening. It's a sign that there's newness within. And hi Morgan, welcome. So with awakened spirit, desire to change is that right now, the reason why you're feeling the change the reason you're feeling the change is because you're going through an awakening. You're going through a revelation. You are waking up right now. And so as a result, you're going to want to change. Some of you might not know exactly how to change. I mean, I'm going through this too right now. I'll take this one for me. I'll click subscribe to this one any day. Because I too am here. I'm like, I'm desiring a change right now. I want to shift. I want to do something new. But I don't quite know what. Well, things are still in process. Once again, integration, integrity, integration, right? Integration, 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 right? So maybe that right now the change hasn't quite solidified. You're not ready to quite change yet. You're still showing up and doing what you got to do, but you can sense that you need a change, right? Look at what you can change in your every now moment. Those little routines add up to the big success, right? So the big shift happens with the little routines, right? For some of you, change your diet. For some of you, you need to go get a haircut or do your hair in a new way. For some of you, it might be making new friends. Might need to go take some clothes to the donation place, right? For some of you, look at volunteer opportunities. I want to state this. For some of you, look at volunteer opportunities at your local high school, at a local school, or like there's a local convention coming up. There's something that you should be volunteering at because there's something there for you. It's not about the it's not about volunteering necessarily. It's that there's something there for you. Hi, Morgan. Your volunteer opportunity has a miracle embedded within it. So your universe is pulling you right now into a situation to volunteer. Thank you. What's up? Hey, Tweety. Volunteering. So some of you, there's something that you're going to engage within at that volunteer opportunity that's going to unlock a lot of doors for you. Trust it. If you're feeling that call to go do something new, just follow it because there's something there for you. Okay. Look for those opportunities. That's going to be another good one, guys. Open up to receive the opportunities to change. Look for the opportunities to change. Look for those opportunities that are going to give you an opportunity to show up in a new expression or to react a certain way or to shift, right? So for some of you, this has been coming up for me as a part of the initiations and the tests of this passageway is it's like someone will say something and there will be a highlighted just knowing within me that's like, I can respond to this differently. And when I respond to that differently, I change. That's initiating the new neural pathways, right? The rewrites, right? And then the story starts to change. The reality starts to change as a result of that. So for some of you, look for opportunities to change, especially in your engagements, especially when it comes to your communications. So a key one here is going to be in regards to your communications with your family, friends, loved ones. Some of you are elders, okay? Some of you have elder wisdom right now. And when people are engaged with you or when people talk to you, you might want to show up a little bit more like silly little kid and you're being asked to step up into the sage and the mage and the wizard, right? Like that elder. So some of you have an elder aspect of you online that needs to come forward right now. And as a result, you will see, do I stay in the petty childish way of responding to this or do I show up in my elder, right? You showing up in that elder or in that like ancestral tone, it might throw people off, but it's necessary because I feel like what's going to happen is you're going to actually show people a side of you that people haven't seen before and it's going to blow them away. You might actually start receiving a little bit more respect from people. So some of you have been getting disrespected. And it's not because we're back. Hi. How's everyone doing? YouTube's not happy with me. Hi. How are we doing over here? Camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. All right. Good. Right. So this elder version of you has a lot of wisdom. It's your sage aspect. And it's the one that hands off your wisdom to the world. And it's needed right now. Some of you have been getting this download and you haven't been doing it. What are you afraid of? Showing up as your elder, showing up as the sage. Right? Necesita. It is necessary for you to show up in that vision of you. Now we're going to switch over to Moonology. Afraid to fail? It's okay. Love that fear, Angel. Don't fear the fear. It just creates more fear. Isn't that funny to put it that way? I fear fear. And as a result of fearing fear, I unlock more fear, and I end up feeling a lot more fear than I need to. Loving the fear brings it into neutrality, guys. So we have to look at the polar opposite of the belief system to bring things into neutrality, especially when it comes to contrast. Universal balance. Okay. So just be mindful of these things. And I know you know this. I know you know this. It's just one obvious to some people. There's some people that don't know that, right? Because the propensity for us naturally is I feel fear, I give into fear, and I feel that fear. So we do want to feel that fear, but we want to love that fear, right? When we look at polarity, negative, positive, we want to, if you're holding a positive polarity, the negative is what brings it into neutrality. The negative polarity, we bring the positive, that's what brings it into balance, neutrality. So to neutralize the charge on anything, we have to provide. Fear of failing is normal. Okay, I want to state this. Fear of failing is normal. Like, this isn't such a, my gosh. Wi-Fi. We back, YouTube. Hello, YouTube. I would rather get to the end of my life knowing I tried and failed than not knowing at all that I tried, right? And I've had that happen where there's things in my life where I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I did. Big one for me was prom. Big one for me was in high school, I didn't do prom because I was scared. Like, oh, I was scared and there was other things going on. You know, I had my own things. And as a result, there's a lot of my life where I was like, man, I wish I went to prom. Like, I wish I went to the high school dance. Like, why? I don't judge myself or shame myself for not going, but like, can you guys hear me okay? YouTube is shut down so many times, I don't even know if I'm still live. Am I live? Yeah? Okay. Alright, I think we're good. Yeah, YouTube, be nice to Corey, dang it. Making sure. You can hear me? Okay, good. I'm going to take a moment for YouTube to reset. But yeah, guys, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Are we breaking the internet right now? Everyone's YouTube is acting a fool right now. That's really funny. Doug. Just kidding. We're not talking to Doug. We're not talking to Doug. There we go. I think we're back. Okay, cool. You define success, guys, in your own life. And a lot of us, you know, live up to the cultural success and the templates of the cultural stuff, right? Especially in the United States. The white picket fence, the gold where I will be successful when. Some of you need to go in and redefine success, but from your own knowing, not from what someone else told you. Try living up to the expectations of other people's success and you always fall short and feel like you're failing. Well, maybe it's not that you're failing. Maybe you're measuring success based upon someone else's truth. And you're not measuring success based upon who you are. Right? Because you're the one that defines success. So a lot of this is that it hasn't been that you've been unsuccessful. You've been trying to live up to someone else's standards and it's getting in the way. Do that for long enough, you're going to feel it. Because once again, their soul's expression and your soul's expression, their soul's experience and your soul's experience might be way too different. And as a result, if you just open up and are a little bit more easy on yourself and you redefine what your success is, you actually might find more success. Because now you're not trying to stretch to become something you're not. Now you're just embodying who you are. And being that authentically and truthfully attracts a whole different result. It's called harmony. So the more you harmonizing with your blueprint of success, right, the more you're going to feel the self-worth and self-value. So please don't define your success based upon someone else, right? And here's the thing, we always tie success to some sort of material compensation as well. I see this a lot. Not everyone, right? And I don't want to say we always, because I don't want to fix a limitation on it, but like success itself, I see that it's like, oh, well, if there's like a physicality or a physical manifestation of the success, right? Like I do this and I receive this immediately, or like, and especially when it comes to money, that, you know, measure. Oh, YouTube. CME is here? Good. We all the soul of flair. That was... This connection is... Yeah, this is so funny. It might actually help to restart it. I don't really want to, though. We'll just let it coast. This happens, though. How are we doing, guys? How's everyone feeling? Hi, Sherry. Yeah, doing well. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Sedona is Sedona. Sedona is Sedona. Conclusions are within reach. Communication is key. So for some of you guys right now, the completion that you're looking for, it has to be communicated between you and other individuals. So there is something that you haven't been able to work through, but you have to talk about this. There's something in the energetic that isn't moving because you've got to be the one that talks about this with other people. If you feel stagnation or you feel like you can't get to the root of something, maybe it's time to open up to other people about this right now. It's going to be important for your clearing and your clarity. I also feel like other people hold the puzzle pieces to this key. Other people hold the key code exactly to what you're trying to unlock and the completion you're trying to reach. Sometimes when it comes to my energetic lessons, I meet someone on my journey who's like a master, who's been through it, that holds the key code. They don't tell me exactly what I need to be doing. They don't sit down and go, this is what you need to do, but they drop the keys. And they're not their keys. They're just like, you know what? Hey, I've been through this. Let's code dump. And I get a code dump. There's a code share that goes on, and I unlock what my freedom and truth is for that. So this completion is in reach, but you got to communicate about it. You got to talk about it. You have to discuss your feelings. There's something that merges and marriages with this, because we're looking at an eclipse here, a full moon eclipse, sun and the moon. There's the merging. There's the marriage. We're back. We're back. We're back. This is a little ridiculous. This is a little ridiculous. Some of you need to communicate with your own shadow. Okay. I want to state that right now.